104.5 The Team presents Armin and Levac.
We have breaking news in the NFL. ESPN's Adam Schefter, thanks to Death Wish Coffee, is here to deliver that breaking news. Schefter, you got a lot going on right now, man. What's the word?
Yeah, it just came down to Detroit a short time ago, but the Lions fired their offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi. The offense had been struggling. They also fired the offensive line coach, Jeremiah Washburn, and the assistant offensive line coach, Terry Heffernan. So those guys are out. Their new offensive coordinator, as of moments ago, is Jim Bob Cooter, who was the former Lions quarterbacks coach. He's coached Peyton Manning in the past, is supposedly very, very smart, knows the industry, knows the business, knows offense. And Jim Bob Cooter takes over for Joe Lombardi as the new Lions offensive coordinator.
Schefter, should we believe that that's all the Lions felt was needed, or could more carnage come at the end of the year?
Well, look, anytime you have a disappointing season, I think all bets are off, and anything's possible. But right now, I think also people look around the league, they see the spark that Dan Campbell provided in Miami, where they've been unbeatable the last couple of weeks since he took over as the head coach. Now, granted, they've beaten teams with a combined 3-10 record, so not a great mark. But it's a situation where you have losses, you have a difficult situation, you're going to see changes come, and they've begun to take hold in Detroit now.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Stafford sacked 7 times yesterday. You knew something had to give. I guess they think they got the personnel in place. They just need the guy to direct them where they need to be.
Well, I think that they've got major questions about a lot of different things on offense, on defense, all around. But it's a situation here where basically they've decided to make a change, getting rid of 3 coaches.
ESPN's Adam Schefter, thanks to DeathWishCoffee.com. Schefter, Odell Beckham Jr., only 4 catches yesterday. Anything you've heard about his health that could be maybe affecting his lack of production here recently?
Well, his hamstrings have not been right. He hasn't been practicing. It's difficult to go out and perform at top level when your hamstrings are not right, when you're not going through practice during the week. That's 2 straight weeks he hasn't practiced due to the hamstring injuries that flared up last year that prevented him from playing in the first 4 weeks of the season, limited his effectiveness the 2 weeks after that. And so it's something that he's battled and something they're trying to monitor and be as guarded and as conservative about as possible. You want Odell Beckham Jr. to be on the field on Sunday. You want him as explosive as possible, but it's also difficult to duplicate the type of success he had last year when you're not out there during the week.
Schefter, speaking of the Giants, they're desperate need of a pass rush. Any word on JPP? What's going on with that?
Yeah, he's in New York today. He's meeting with team officials, with doctors, but nobody should get too excited and think all of a sudden, okay, well, JPP's back, and that's how it's going to work. Essentially, his representatives have been in contact with the Giants, and financial details have been discussed in general terms, but the negotiations over the reduction of the franchise tag can't take place in earnest until after the Giants clear him medically, and there's no sure thing that that's going to happen.
ESPN's Adam Schefter, thanks to DeathWishCoffee.com/vote. Schefter, hearing anything about any ramifications that Greg Hardy could receive for the special teams coach incident, Des Bryant incident, and then in the locker room not talking to the media, or no commenting the media, I should say?
No, they said today they're not going to take any discipline against him at all, but it's a situation where, look, since he's come in, it's been 2 weeks, right? And he's been in the headlines for talking about guns, which he shouldn't have, talking about Tom Brady's sister, which he shouldn't have, getting into a sideline tiff with the special teams coach, Rich Biasucci yesterday, Basuccio, however you pronounce his last name, forgive me, and then obviously arguing with Des Bryant. So there's a litany of offenses here, and it's okay for some people to get into heated arguments on the sideline. That happens all the time in the NFL. But the spotlight is square on Greg Hardy, and to me, when you come back like that, your behavior better be impeccable. But he's such a good football player that the Dallas Cowboys are willing to look the other way right now. That's just the fact of the matter. And they're saying that he's one of the leaders of the team. Well, he's a leader of a 2-4 team right now. That's the way it goes.
Speaking of teams that are underperforming, is this another Rex Ryan team in Buffalo that just doesn't really have the talent and potential that he told us they did?
Right now they're making a lot of mistakes. Listen, they've had to overcome a lot of injuries, too. There aren't too many teams missing their top 2 wide receivers, their starting quarterback, and still putting up the number of points on the board that the Buffalo Bills did yesterday. So in fairness to them, it wasn't all bad, but they're making a lot of mistakes, committing a lot of penalties. They're on, I think, a record pace right now for penalties. a lot of mistakes. You can't do that and expect to win football games consistently. It catches up with you, and that's exactly what has been going on in Buffalo. They've made some plays, not enough plays. The defense has not been stellar, and they've made a lot of mistakes on the football field, turning over the football, committing penalties. You're not going to win that way.
You think there's any individuals in the front office that are wondering why Matt Castle still isn't on this team?
That's definitely going on. Definitely a situation where I think people, there are certain people in that organization that are not pleased that Matt Castle's there. And if Matt Castle were there, it's very possible that Matt Castle would have been starting in London against the Jaguars on Sunday. It's very possible the result would have been different. We could look back. It's very easy to do that today. Hindsight, post fact, easy to say, oh yeah, Matt Castle would have been victorious. We don't know, but I can tell you this: there are people who wish you were there.
Does it seem like there's a disconnect between Doug Whaley and Rex Ryan and Greg Roman with Matt Castle not being there?
I don't know about that. Look, the general manager is always going to have certain ideas. Coaches are going to have certain ideas, and sometimes they match up and sometimes they don't. To equate that to there being a disconnect over this one player, yeah, I think there were disagreements, yes. But I don't know that it amounts to a disconnect overall.
Patriots beat the Jets yesterday, Schefter, and it went down to the final play of the game. What was your takeaway from that game?
Takeaway is that Tom Brady is unbelievable. Like, there aren't too many quarterbacks in the league who could go up against a top-ranked defense, whose team could have 5 rushing attempts all day for 6 yards, and you have 6 rushing yards against one of the top defenses in the country, in the National Football League, and they still find a way to score 30 points and win the game.
What?
Adam, when we look at the number of undefeated teams in the NFL, it's at an all-time high.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see this deep into the season, but you take a look right now. Cincinnati hasn't lost. Denver hasn't lost. New England hasn't lost. Carolina hasn't lost. Green Bay hasn't lost. Am I missing anybody? I don't know if I am. Those are 5 unbeaten teams, and the great part about it is we're going to see some of these teams square up. Like Sunday night in Denver, Green Bay travels to Denver. Packers-Broncos should be a great game. It's a different Denver team than people are used to seeing. They're used to seeing Peyton Manning dominate. It's not the way that it's been recently. This is a different Bronco team. But right now, those are the number of teams that remain unbeaten, and you don't see that very often.
And now we continue the talk of whether or not New England's going to run the table this year.
Well, we've had this conversation before. We saw it happen in 2007. They did run the table. It didn't do them very much good in the postseason. I'm sure they'll approach it a little bit differently now. But again, it's a long way to go. They've got some tough games ahead, and we'll see if they can match up and do the same thing again.
Adam Schefter, thanks to deathwishcoffee.com/vote. Schefter, the Cowboys have lost all 4 games without Romo. Details on his return?
Yeah, he's not eligible to return until the game against Miami towards the end of November. So he's got to miss the next few games. He's got to miss Seattle this week, Philadelphia the next week. I think Tampa is the week after that. So if my math is correct, that would be the 3 games, and then he'd be eligible to return that 4th week against Miami, which I believe is like November 22nd, 28th, whatever it may be, later in the month. So he's still got some time to miss.
ESPN's Adam Schefter. Now, Schefter, you just want to make sure you and Mort, you guys will be on halftime tonight, right? No movie coming out.
Well, actually, Mort's on the disabled list. He's battling injury, so we don't know that he's going to make it. But I'm told you got to play hurt, and Mort's going to play hurt, so that's good. Let me be the first to break it. Mort is expected to go tonight, despite the fact that he's been under the weather today.
Oh, good for him, man. He's day to day, but he's going to push it out.
Tough it out.
That's impressive. What's the worst sickness that you've had, and you still have gone on the air? Have you gone on with flu?
I once ran the marathon, the Boston Marathon, and got rhabdomyolysis, where your kidneys and liver shut down. That was on a Monday. I flew back to Denver Tuesday, spent the week in the hospital, and then did the draft, covering the draft for the Denver Post that weekend.
And all of a sudden, your scouting report, we had to put Scrapper in. That's nasty, man. Good job.
I feel like there's
like I said, you got to play hurt.
There's like 4 things in there that just blew my mind about you, Adam Schefter. All right, man, appreciate it. Thanks for your time this week. We'll do it again next week.
Guys, have a great Monday.
All right, see you, Schefter. There he goes, ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Every time a player goes, what do you know about being hurt? Dude, I almost died, but I still covered your draft.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?
Call Schefter.
Right.
Deathwishcoffee.com/vote. need your help, man. A commercial is up for grabs in the big game in February, and all you got to do is vote. We can make history. We can be the first area to have the smallest company to ever get a commercial during the game. You can vote every day, and we need you to vote every day, and we need you to share that link and tell your friends. deathwishcoffee.com/vote, and there's good news. We only have 1 week, just over 1 week left in this thing. So good and bad news. The good news is I'm not going to be on you every day anymore. I'm not going to be texting all my 57 friends every day, telling them, get on it, vote. So that's going to be done. Okay. But the bad news is we could be running out of time. We got to get it done. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to vote right now.
How would you not support this company that they ground all their coffee here in the Round Lake area? It's local, and it's amazing. World's Strongest Coffee, deathwishcoffee.com. Levac, anytime we wear their stuff, people always come up to us and go, oh my gosh, is that stuff good?
Yeah,
I love that stuff.
Yeah, I was just at the gas station up at exit 12, pumping the gas in. I had the Death Wish hoodie on. The guy goes, is it really good? Honestly, I'm like, dude, it's the only one I drink right now. I love it. I love my coffee. I love Death Wish. He goes, all right, I'm going to try it, but it's on you. Like a smile and a wink, but hey, I feel good. I feel good about making that recommendation to him. I hope he enjoys it.
They're really big in airports, too.
Yeah.
I dare you to travel wearing a Death Wish shirt. You will get bombarded with people, man. It's like you're a Backstreet Boy back in the 90s. Armin and Levac, 104.5 The Team. Your home for New York sports.